Father's Day, everyone, and I have to tell you, Father's Day is a wonderful day for me to celebrate my very favorite fathers in this world, my sons, my brother, and most of all, my husband. So thank all of you fathers that are raising wonderful children and giving your hearts, your love to everybody around you, especially your kids. And I hope you are being celebrated today. And if for whatever reason you end up being the one cooking, then this is for you too. Now we've done pancakes a few times, and so I'm not going to do pancakes this morning. But what I am going to do is keto maple syrup. Yes, it can be a thing, and we're going to do it today, and we're going to have some fun doing it. So hang around here. You're not going to want to miss this because this is going to be absolutely delicious. And so let's get started. A small pot. We're not going to make a huge batch of this. And yeah, happy Father's Day, everybody. We're not going to make a huge batch because we don't need a bunch of stuff sitting in the fridge that we maybe are not going to use. So if you're having a couple of people over for Father's Day, you're thinking about Father's Day brunch, you know what? You can do brunch on the fly. Keto pancakes can be quick and easy. Go back and look at my videos because there is a French toast scrambled egg recipe there that is amazing, and this would be awesome on top of it. So there's all kinds of things. Do you have some keto bread in your house that you've made or purchased? You can use this on that. Make some French toast using that. Okay, so first thing in our pot, we are making, just so you know, we are making a maple rum syrup. Yes, we are. So the first thing that we're adding to our pot is 1 cup of water. And we're going to turn that on. I'm going to leave it on 10 just because I need this to come to a boil very rapidly. And I just realized that I forgot one of our most important ingredients, which is going to be featured a little bit in the next few days or the next few shows, because I am really having fun playing with guar gum. And you know, guar gum is awesome because there are 0 net carbs, and 0 when it comes to carbs is my very favorite number. Okay, so we have 1 cup of water in here. That's all you need is 1 cup of water. We're going to let this come to a boil, and we are going to add 1 tablespoon of rum. Now you can use a dark rum, which would actually be nicer. It's going to have a little bit, good morning, Mom. It's going to have a little bit more of a molasses taste to it, I guess. But we're going to use 1 tablespoon of white rum because that's what I have in the house. And I was not going to go and buy a bottle of rum for this. So we're going to add 1 tablespoon of rum to our pot. Okay, that might have been a little bit of a healthy tablespoon, but this is for the kids as well because we're going to boil this. So we're going to boil the alcohol off. So this is not going to be, just rinse that tablespoon off there so we're not wasting that. This is not going to be something that you need to worry about the kids going all snaky after they've had a teaspoon or a tablespoon or 2 of it. Okay, so 1 tablespoon of rum, 1 teaspoon of maple flavoring or maple extract. I don't recommend that people use things that are artificial, but every now and again, and I am just rinsing that out a wee bit, every now and again, something that is a little bit borderline. If you can buy pure maple extract, make sure you're checking it to see what the carb count is on it. And this is boiling already. I'll tell you, magnetic induction burners work so quickly. Now we are going to turn this down to 2 because we don't need it boiling really hard. And we're going to add 100 grams of brown sugar erythritol. So the brown sugar substitute. Now this is going to add that wonderful molasses flavor that we did not get from the dark rum since we used white rum. Okay, now, oh, that smells wonderful already. I remember when I was a little girl, and maple syrup was difficult to come by, and it was expensive, and Mom and Dad used to make maple syrup. And when I say Mom and Dad, I think mostly my mom, but I'm not sure where that recipe came from, but I know it was absolutely delicious. Okay, now the next thing that we are going to add. Now you remember when we used guar gum on Friday to make the pasta? I said a little goes a long way, and I absolutely was not kidding, and that is way too much. So I have a 1/4 teaspoon, and that 1/4 teaspoon is only going to be about half full. Now before we do that, we're going to let this come to a boil again. You want to make sure that the erythritol is thoroughly dissolved. Now when you cool this, don't be surprised if you find some yummy little erythritol crystals in this. Maple syrup should be warmed before it goes on your pancakes anyway. So we have 1 cup of water in here, and we are using half a cup of heavy cream. So this is going to be a beautiful creamy maple rum syrup for you to put on your pancakes. Now you don't need to boil this hard to get rid of the alcohol. Alcohol dissolves at a pretty low temperature. So we're just going to put this in here, and we don't want to boil the cream. Now if you go back and look at my video on French toast scrambled eggs, which is absolutely delicious, you'll notice that I used a maple bacon flavoring in that recipe. Now you can use that in here as well, and I got that from Watkins. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh, and it smells amazing. It does, it does. Okay, now you want to do a taste test on this, because you want to make sure that the maple flavoring is as strong as you want it. That is wonderful. Now this is not going to be super sweet. We don't want it super sweet. We're not trying to get our brains all freaked out thinking that we're eating straight sugar. And I think I'm going to add just a wee bit more maple flavoring in this pot. I made a smaller pot before, so I'm just going to add, I like the maple flavor to be really pronounced. And this is an imitation maple extract. I love how they say maple extract in great big letters and then imitation in little itty bitty tiny letters. And only because when I was looking, I couldn't actually find any real maple extract. Okay, we'll try this one more time. Oh, that's where we needed it. So we have 2 teaspoons of maple extract in here, and it is absolutely wonderful. And now we are just going to turn this off, clean up the mess that I made. I love when I slop on here, it does not make a mess. It doesn't fry on like it would on a normal stove, because the only spot that gets hot is where the pot is sitting. Okay, now this just could not possibly be easier, because now, we are going to add a 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. We're going to just really wake up those flavors in that pot. And the sugar and the salt and the rum and the maple and the, this is just absolutely wonderful. Now, could we freeze this and make ice cream? Well, you could. I don't think it would work very well. I don't know. If you try it, let me know how it works. Now we are just going to add about 1/8 of a teaspoon. And as we add it in here, I'm going to do it through a little strainer because I don't want this to get all clumpy in here. It's kind of like xanthan gum. If you do it too fast, it will get all clumpy, and then you have to deal with the lumps. Okay, so we have 1/8 of a teaspoon in here. Now this is going to take a little time to thicken. So when you are getting your brunch recipes ready, your scrambled eggs and your pancakes and your bacon, and do this first, and that way it has a little time to sit. This guar gum has a little bit of time to do its guar gum dance in our recipe. Whoops, and I am just making a mess all over the place. If it isn't quite thick enough, if it isn't as thick as you want it, then just add a little more. You can add it hot, you can add it cold. Now, I gotta tell you, my coffee this morning, I have cream in it. So this is sugar-free Da Vinci syrup and a little bit of whipping cream, and it is absolutely delicious. So watch for me at the Lacombe Farmers Market, at the Wetaskiwin Farmers Market, the Rimbey Farmers Market, and the Ponoka Community Market, because if you are wanting to stock up on your Da Vinci flavors, you can pick them up there. I can't imagine a day when I wouldn't have hazelnut. This is absolutely one of my favorite ones. Okay, now we've got this heat turned off, and I'm wanting this to be a syrup. I don't want it to be a sauce. Now we could add a little bit more to it to make it a sauce, a little bit more guar gum, and the more we add, the thicker it's going to get. And as this sits, if you leave it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you'll notice it getting a little bit thicker. Leave it for an hour and it'll be even thicker yet. So the big thing that we want to do now is we want to grab another spoon and we want to do a taste test. Make sure that this is mapley enough and rummy enough. Is rummy is a word? Sure it is. Yeah, you are going to be very popular if you pour this over pancakes or French toast or ice cream, or make this a little bit thicker, add a little bit more guar gum, and turn it into a sauce, and you can have it over keto ice cream. And how many carbs are there in this entire pot of maple rum syrup that we just made? There are, if you just drank the whole pot, 4 grams of carbs. Yeah, that's it, 4. Now, don't forget, that's not the only thing that's going to be on your plate, because also on your plate, and I just got my coffee chopped up, also on your plate is going to be whatever pancakes or bread or scrambled eggs that you have. And so always add everything that you are putting on your plate. Add the carbs up in it so that you know how many you're getting. And you should never have, it came from my grandma. Okay, that's really cool. So when you think back to back in the 30s or 40s, families didn't have access to huge big supermarkets the way we did, but apparently they did have access to maple flavoring. And so that was a wonderful way to have a maple syrup on your pancakes, because my family is from Alberta. Always from Alberta, ever since they came to Canada. And, well, my mom's side of the family anyway. At any rate, if maple flavoring was available, then this was a wonderful thing to have for pancakes. Now, this is thickening up a little bit, and the question becomes, do I want it thicker? I want to show you. Now, we're going to add about another 1/8 of a teaspoon, because I want to show you how quickly this works. Now I'm just tapping this into the pot. Now, as this cools, it's going to thicken as well. And the other thing that this is very likely going to help with is stopping the crystallization of the erythritol. There we go. Because this is also a stabilizer. So there are just so many reasons to use guar gum. It's a fiber. It's a stabilizer. It's all natural. It is not an artificial ingredient. It is not something that we need to be afraid of when we're doing keto. It just is not. So we have about 1/4 of a teaspoon in 1.5 cups. And you can see, look at what's happening. If you look at what's on the side of the pot, you can see that it's getting thicker. And so that's where it's cooling the most quickly. If you have Da Vinci butter rum flavoring in your house and you want to use a little bit of that in here, there isn't a reason that you can't. But what I will say is what we've just created here is very natural. It's not a single ingredient, but it's all natural ingredients. Well, okay, with the exception of the maple flavoring. If you do not like maple, I'm not sure we can be friends, but if you don't like maple, you can use almond flavoring. You can use vanilla flavoring, or vanilla extract, almond extract. You could use any extract that you wanted to. Make this your own. Do you want to leave the rum out? Maybe you do. If you cannot find maple extract and you want to do something on your own, come and see me at the Lacombe Farmers Market, Wetaskiwin, Rimbey, Pinoka. Come and check with me, because very soon I am going to have fenugreek in my lineup, and fenugreek is a wonderful thing to use to make maple flavoring. All you need is TSL Organics fenugreek and some vodka and some water and a pressure cooker if you have it. If you don't, you don't. So come and ask me about fenugreek. Come and ask me about making your very own maple flavoring and how it's possible to do it, and still have it be keto, because we can definitely do that. Now we are almost at the end, and I think this isn't going to be quite as long today, but you can see that this is thickening up. I'm just going to move it right over here so we can really get a look at this. You can see that this is starting to thicken up, and it's easy to see when you look at how the liquid is moving. It's not moving like water would. Okay, so one more taste test. Bigger spoon. So what flavor are you going to put in this? Are you going to use maple flavoring? Maple extract? Oh my heavens. That is absolutely wonderful, and that is going to dress up your Father's Day brunch table. You want to add a little bit more rum, make it even more decadent and flavorful. Go ahead and do that. Just make sure that you simmer it for a little bit, get rid of that alcohol before the kids get into it, and you are going to be the belle of the Father's Day brunch ball, or maybe the prince of the Father's Day brunch ball. And I hope all of you have an amazing Father's Day. Do your very best to be the best version of yourself. Call a father that you haven't talked to for a while. Tell him how much you care. He'll appreciate it very much. And honor the fathers that have gone before us too, because they're the reason that we're here. So I will see you on Friday. I'm not sure what we're doing on Friday, but it is going to be something sweet. I'm feeling like there needs to be some ice cream in our future. So let's do some ice cream with guar gum. We're going to do it. We'll make it happen. I will see you on Friday at noon Mountain, and I am looking forward to it very much. Have an amazing